Welcome to the show, everybody. Ryan didn't give me a cue, or I missed my cue. So, welcome to the show. This is the Brandon and Ryan Hour. I am Brandon.
And I'm Ryan. And today we're wrapping up our review of the series, The Continental, from the world of John Wick. This is episode 3. Yep, it is episode 3.
Episode 3. Yes, finally. Movie 3, 4.5 hours of my life of this show. It's exhausting. Why is it so exhausting?
Because they put out 3 movies and
but they tried
called
to do
it a series.
like episodes,
yeah,
and it didn't work.
Yep, I agree with you. So, what were your thoughts on this episode?
4.5 hour long movie.
Yeah.
My thoughts. They're all over the place. It started off good. On the first episode, I liked it. It started off well. It kept me interested. I I don't know. That last line from the first episode just started the downhill slide, and it didn't stop sliding.
Okay.
It's still sliding down. Oh, we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. If you are new to the show, spoilers. But hang out with us and let us know what you think about the movie. I was gonna say movie. Not a movie.
I mean, it basically is a movie. Each of these episodes are like an hour and a half long, so
it's a freaking trilogy.
Yeah.
So hopefully they won't do another one. But hang out with us, let us know what your thoughts are. And we're definitely gonna let you know what our thoughts are. So, with that being said, it was a struggle to finish watching this episode. And then I finished it, and then like a day later I was like, what happened? I was like, dang it, I'm gonna have to rewatch it because I'm having a hard time remembering what happened because I did not care.
Yeah, see, that's kind of the problem that I'm having. I watched it, but it was very forgettable, so I'm not exactly sure what happened in the episode.
Yeah, that's because not much happened.
I remember there being a lot of action.
Was there?
Yes.
I guess.
There was a lot of action. There was a lot of killing, a lot of blood. But I don't know. Yeah. I don't remember what happened, though, because it is just a forgettable episode, which is horrible for a TV series or a movie in general. Yeah.
So, the main premise of this episode was storm the castle, kill everybody. That's all they did. And wasn't done very well, in my opinion. Which matters a great deal to myself and everyone else. I guess maybe not to the people who made the show, movie. Really hard to say show. Anyway. I couldn't figure out why I didn't care. Because the first episode, like I said, was well done. Kept me interested. But it was vengeance, but it was also like, I don't know. I think they tried to do... Okay. So, recently, in the last week or so, after I finished watching Continental, I rewatched the first 2 John Wick movies.
Mm-hmm.
And something that I noticed, thinking about it now, is that there's very little um, character development in John Wick.
Okay.
They introduce a character, you learn everything you need to know about them in a 2-minute conversation. They either help him, they fight and they die, or they fight and they live. That's all the characters in the show. Like there's a few characters that you learn a little bit more about. Winston. And oh shoot, Sharon. But you actually don't learn that much about them. Like from them talking, like you know that Sharon is good at his job and a
Uh-huh.
stand-up guy, and he takes care of John Wick's dog. But you don't know anything else about him. And he's decent at killing people because he kills a bunch of people in the third one, helping John Wick to stave off the high table assault.
Okay.
Did you forget the third one?
I'm not sure if I actually watched the third one. I know I've seen 1, 2, and then the last one.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, in the third one, the high table sends in a bunch of troops to kill Winston and John Wick,
Okay.
and John and Sharon and some other guys defend the Continental. Um, I'm gonna say it, but the
Okay.
guns, lots of guns thing, never came to fruition. There were never lots of guns. Winston never used lots of guns.
Right.
Even in the final battle,
Even in the
I
storming of the castle in this episode,
yeah,
never. Yeah, just did not.
yeah, and apparently he had a issue with killing people in the first place because he burned those people alive in that building.
Okay.
But then he gets over that real quick. So I don't know. It, the character development I think was part of the problem because you just don't have that. Like I don't care. Uh,
Okay, so you don't care about the characters? Because I think that was a big part of the issue with me, is none of the characters were interesting. I didn't care what happened to anybody, um, like at all. Like nobody seemed interesting, so it almost felt like a waste of time watching this show.
a waste of a lot of time.
Yes, a lot of
Um,
time, almost 4.5 hours worth of time.
okay.
Um, so with that, I didn't care about any of the characters. We had the whole subplot with the lady who was trying to protect the stupid dojo and her interaction with that kid,
Mm.
and then she just blew up the dojo because she got kicked out illegally, and she was like, "Eh, well, I might as well just blow it up then," which makes no stinking sense at all. Like I didn't understand. One, what was the point of her being in the show? Her character arc did nothing. I didn't learn anything about her. She didn't go through any kind of real trials. She didn't grow at all. She was there. She blew up a building,
Yeah,
and I
and
don't know why.
all she had a problem using guns because guns kill people and fists
Guns don't
don't.
kill people. That's dumb.
Right.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
stupid.
Guns always kill, but hands you can choose. And then she had the whole thing where they were lying to her about her dad being an assassin. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I don't care. Why are we talk? Why is this even here? And the I guess it's like the Chinese gang or whatever that was trying to push them around with the cigarette machine and kicking her out of the building. Like,
Mm-hmm.
who cares?
Yeah.
What is this even here for?
It didn't fit into
Not
the overarching story of everything going on, so I don't understand why it was put in.
yeah. And then there was also like, so like I said, rewatching the John Wick movies, like there's also like a different um uh like atmosphere or set of rules or moral uh I guess what's the word I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
Um anyway, so like in the movies, the actual movies, John Wick movies, they have a code, they have rules, they have um uh character,
Okay.
right? And they uphold these rules to a fault. Um but in this show, none of these people are in the club.
Yeah. And see, that's
So
kind of what irritated me also about Winston, because in the first John Wick movie, well, I guess in the three that I've watched, it seems like he's just super smart and doesn't get his hands dirty. And I liked that. I figured he got to take over the hotel because he was super smart. He was ingenuitive and worked his way into a position of authority. Not, hey, I just killed a whole bunch of people and said the hotel's mine.
I mean, everybody's gonna get their hands dirty, and he's much older in the movies. So I get like having to get his hands dirty some,
Right,
and I
but
guess he
taking out
did
an
do
entire building of people
right. He
and
did do
then
like the one smart thing where he bought the bank and gave it to the homeless lady.
I don't feel like that was smart at all, but okay.
I mean, it was smart. It wasn't interesting or it was lame. This I was like, what is this? What are you gonna buy her a bank so she could have a bank and be homeless? Like metaphor, because your mom worked in a bank. Like this is
Yeah, but it also didn't look like the bank was functional. It looked like it was a deserted bank and he bought a building.
yeah. He bought a bank that was a former building, or he bought a building that was a former bank. That's what.
Yeah, so he didn't buy a bank. He bought a building and was like, hey, this is your building now.
Right.
So it serves no purpose.
Yeah.
It's just an empty building.
Yeah. It just looks like a bank. That's all it was. It just looked like a bank. So it was just he was using that as a metaphor. And his mom worked at a bank and washed the floors. And I don't know. It got all that. Nobody cared. Like all the like. What do you know about John Wick?
He's the boogeyman. He likes to, or he's a really good assassin, and people shouldn't cross him.
Right. You don't know that much about people's backstories in the
Right.
movies. So getting all this backstory information, not what the audience. It's not what I care about when I'm
Mm-hmm.
watching this movie. So I don't know why they tried to do that. I think I don't know. And then so like okay, like the rules and all that. Like Cormac, he's the head. He's the manager of the hotel, but doesn't seem to care about the rules,
Yeah, he obviously does not.
which doesn't make any sense. I
But
don't
I
know.
mean, I did really enjoy Gibson's
Yeah,
performance. Like that was the only bright spot in all three of these shows. That was the
I
only
agree.
redeeming quality. So,
Mel Gibson playing a crazy psychopathic lunatic
mm-hmm.
who likes to kill people with golf clubs is awesome. I liked it. The I don't know, there's just so many stupid things in this show. Part of the problem, like I was saying earlier, was that they tried to treat it like a TV show, but then only did 3 episodes that were movie length.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to do this like episodic thing. It doesn't work. Like they should have shot 3 movies or done like 8 episodes
Okay.
and had those be episodic. Then you'd have like, little plot points that they could wrap up at the end of each episode. And you don't have these weird things that you can't follow because it's taking 4 hours to get to the end of the plot point.
Yeah. I agree with you.
And they still never wrapped up things like the brother and sister at the Karate Kids. Like their dad being an assassin. It's like she finds out, but then they like never resolve it or talk about it, and
Mm-hmm.
like,
Well, she gave him the gun that their dad used, so he could continue killing.
yeah, like what?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And then like she like adopts that kid.
Yeah, for what reason? Like,
I
again, I
mean,
don't get it. Like, none of the decisions in the show make any sense at all.
that was the only thing that I was like, oh, okay, cool. She's gonna take care of that kid now because he was clearly in a bad situation working for that gang. I'm like, okay, it's good that if she wouldn't have had that weird thing about not killing people, it wouldn't have mattered most of the stuff that she did in episode 3 because she
Okay.
had such a hard time killing people. Um, episode 3 didn't make sense because she killed people. She killed a bunch of them, blowing up the building.
Uh huh.
So they didn't maintain her storyline in a cohesive way. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about it. Okay, other than Mel Gibson, who is a character that you liked?
No one. Like, there's not one character in the show that I cared about at all.
Who's the only other character that actually reminds you of like the actual John Wick movies? The Adjudicator. I like thinking back. I'm like, the Adjudicator is the only one that holds true to the John Wick movies
Okay.
because she acts just like the Adjudicator. And oh, you didn't see the third one.
Well, I didn't see the third one, so if they brought in the
Way to
adjudicators
go.
in the third one, I don't know anything about them. So,
Okay, so this Adjudicator is the only reference point you have.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So the Adjudicator comes in and in the third one and basically tells Winston and Morpheus that they're no longer going to be in charge of what they're in charge of, and they both have a week
Okay.
to put their affairs in order. And then she proceeds to hire a hitman to kill John Wick, and um, um, then everybody she's like going after everybody that helped John Wick, um, which makes sense because the rules and how the society works and the high table and all that junk. So like her character, I didn't mind because it played true to the movies.
Okay.
And then Winston like straight up shoots her in the face at the end
Yeah.
and is like, I'm not talking to you. I'm only talking to the high table. What?
Well, apparently that's the way to get them to take him seriously, I guess, is just kill the person who's working for them.
Yeah. But an hour and a half earlier, he had a problem shooting people. And now he's just straight up shooting women in the face.
Yeah. On the street in front
A
of
person he's never met. This is the first time they've had a scene together. And
Uh-huh.
he just shoots her in the face.
Right.
How does that make sense?
Uh-huh. I'm with you.
I don't get it.
I'm with you. Did not make any sense at all.
Anybody else get it? Because I don't.
But yeah, and they were outside on the street where anybody can see. including police who may have been just walking by, and it just
Yeah.
happens.
Like the cops are there. Like, so they got all the stuff, like the cops, right? They're like, oh, don't go in there because, you know, and you're like, okay, maybe we're going to see how the Continental and the police are like, work together or whatever, but you don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a vengeance plot because that stupid lady wants to kill Winston because he killed her family. And then he apologizes and says it was Cormac that sent him out there to do it. And she's like, "Oh, okay," and then shoots Cormac, and then
He
puts the gun
didn't
behind the
tell her that it
motorcycle.
was Cormac that sent him. He just apologized, and then sniper guy shot her, and then he helped save her from the sniper guy.
Pretty sure he said something about we were sent or
He may have said we were sent, but he
they
didn't say
told
by
us to
who.
do it.
He didn't
Yeah, or
say
no, he said we were told the building was empty.
yes. Yeah, he did say that, but
Yeah,
he never said
so
that Cormac sent them. It's not until the
right.
end where Winston and Cormac are having their final heart to heart, where he says, "Yeah, I knew that there were people in there, and I sent you because I wanted you to do something you couldn't come back from."
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
And then she overheard that and shot him.
Yeah, and shot him. Yeah, that's right.
And it was not a,
Uh,
a good death for Mel Gibson's character.
I didn't think so either.
It was just, hey, I'm gonna shoot you, and it's over.
Yeah, and so like the whole time, Winston's saying, "I'm gonna kill Cormac. I'm gonna kill Cormac," and then he ends up not killing Cormac.
Uh huh.
So it's like, you didn't hold up to your promises there, buddy.
He chopped off to his arm though.
And then, huh?
He chopped off his arm though.
Well, yeah. And how do you just show up? Like, this is like a, a super secret society that controls the world.
Mm-hmm.
How do you just show up in their house and say you're going to take over and don't know nothing about it?
Well, he seemed to know some stuff about it because, like, so this was another problem that I had with the end where he's talking to the adjudicator. Because all through the show, he never said anything about the rules. He never mentioned anything about the high table, about the society or anything. But when he was talking to
Mm-hmm.
the adjudicator, he's like, I know the rules. What rules? You haven't said anything about them the entire 4.5 hours we've been watching.
I guess I missed that part because, or don't remember, but yeah.
Yeah. Because he said, I know the rules when she was trying to explain something to him right before he shot her.
Well, that's even dumber.
And I was like, there's no indication that you were a big part of this ever.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing at all. Um, and like I said, that was their only scene together. Like he had the only other interaction he had. I guess, I guess when they were kids, they were in the society a little bit because they were working for Cormac.
Well, we
But they were
also don't know
kids
when Cormac took over the hotel. So was he in charge of the hotel at that time?
at that point. Yeah, we
Or
don't.
was he just a mob boss?
Yeah, we don't really know. But let's, for argument's sake, let's say he was in charge of the Continental at that time. They would have known some things, but how much do you know? How much do you tell a 10-year-old about a secret society?
Right.
Um, yeah, so too many. I guess it's just wasn't. I guess it's the writing. That's all I can think of. It just wasn't. It's not cohesive. And that's the thing about like all the John Wick movies. At the end, there's still other stuff to be done, but the main point of that movie is finished.
Is finished. Yeah.
But this one, they just have like strings like all over the place, plot strings that never get tied up. All right. The building blowing up. and their technology.
Uh-huh.
Stupid.
Okay.
Doesn't make sense for the mid 70s or early 70s. Whatever it was. I don't remember now.
It was the 70s. I don't know if it was mid or early.
Like, they have CCTVs with, like, 4K definition.
I don't know if it was
um,
4K television, but
yeah. But it's pretty high def. It's not what I imagine a 70s camera television looking like.
all right.
And then the self destruct sequence where it needed the hand.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all that just seemed weird. Uh, yeah, I don't know. And they didn't. So it had. I guess they had like the bomb windows and doors or whatever where they cut the building off from the outside.
Okay.
That's not in any of the John Wick movies. Would have come in handy during the third one during the siege, but they didn't. I guess when they renovated, they didn't put that back in.
All right.
And then the secret 13th floor.
Yeah,
Like you can't count windows from the outside.
I didn't understand that at all.
Yeah.
Because also the elevator disappeared from the shaft, from the elevator shaft to get to the secret 13th floor. And I'm like, I was like, they were talking about that, and I was like, am I watching Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? What's going on here?
I was thinking that too. I was like, is it a Wonka fader? Like, does it go sideways and backways and forward ways?
Yeah.
It can't just disappear. And they're like, nobody's allowed there except the people that work there,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to be announced. I'm like, if there's people up there working, they're not in charge. They're just, you know, typists or whatever, and they're up there working. It doesn't make any sense why it's super secret. And apparently Sharon doesn't know about it, and it's hard to get up there, and they gotta take the food elevator, the dumbwaiter up there to get to it. It doesn't make
Mm-hmm.
any sense. Um, and then yeah, Cormac's killing his own people. He killed the elevator guy
Elevator
and the
guy.
guy in the room.
Uh-huh.
And the guy like he's like doing calculations. Like, oh, they got a 32.33 repeating, of course, chance of survival. Hey, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
Doesn't even. Who cares? Who freaking cares? Like what? And I was on Mel Gibson's side at that point. Like he's like, whose side are you on? And he's like, I'm just following the numbers. I would have shot him right there. I'm like, shut up, just shut up. You're
Yeah.
pissing me off. Shut your mouth. You're not helping. Just die. He's like, I don't need you to be alive. I just need your hand. I can drag you over to the computer,
Mm-hmm.
put your hand on it, and blow this place up. I did like the elevator, or not the elevator, the train,
The train. Yeah.
the escape train. I thought
That
that
he
was cool.
didn't get to use.
It looked cool
Yeah.
though. Yeah. So I don't know. I was hopeful, but not. Did not end up very well. The coin press,
Mm-hmm.
the trunk of the car.
Yeah, apparently, because that's where they slept as children one time.
So yeah, they slept in a car trunk one time. So he's like, I'm gonna check this car in this dump place and see if this priceless, secret society item is in it.
Mm-hmm.
What? 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 Like if there would have been like if they would have had like a flashback where his brother said something to him before he died, or
Mm-hmm.
and then it clicked. But they don't make connections. They just like do things for no reason.
Right.
Like you're supposed to just, oh yeah, that makes total sense. It's gonna check the trunk. Yes. It's dumb. Too dumb. It's not like the John Wick world isn't dumb. It's kind of dumb sometimes. It's it's super fanciful, and how do you kill 1,000 people in the streets of Paris and nobody notices?
Right. Yeah.
Like it's not. Anyway, so what's your rating?
I mean, I did enjoy some of the action scenes. I thought some of them were well done. I don't
Okay.
know.
So with that being said, before we do the ratings, like, what did you think about like, what are your thoughts on the actual fighting in the hotel at the end?
I mean, I thought some of it was good. Some of it was kind of cheesy and over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was a little upset when they killed off that one guy, whose name I don't remember because I didn't care enough to learn
The
any of their
helicopter
names.
pilot? Wasn't that the helicopter
No,
pilot? No,
that's
no,
not
no.
the guy I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
The kind of fat, white, pasty guy.
the guy that fought the lady and was like, I'm not trying to fight."
Yeah, like that didn't make any sense. You're in a hotel full of killers, full of assassins, and you're like, oh, hey, there's a woman in here.
And then he puts his gun down.
Yeah, and then she tries to kill him.
The line was funny though when he was like, "I like your worm tattoo." Oh no, wait, it's a snake. But now that I'm getting closer, it was something else. I was
Yeah,
like, oh, that was hilarious.
that was good. Yeah,
But like him like not wanting to fight her was stupid.
but yeah, when they killed him, I was super upset because I was starting to like him from that interaction.
Yeah,
I was like, this guy's really funny, and then they killed him. I was like, well, okay, now I don't care anymore.
I felt the same way, and nobody else died that I didn't care about.
Yeah, but so I was a little bummed when he died. A lot of the action, or some of the action, was good. Some of it was kind of cheesy and over the top, but
What was his name? The sniper.
mm-hmm.
That was freaking hilarious when the lady comes back.
Yeah, that was
He
good
was like,
because he was like, "You're not supposed to be here."
you're not supposed to. She's like, I forgot my medicine. And then he's got to tie her up, and he's being all nice to her, and he's like, I hope I'm not being too forward, but I'd like to take you out on a date. One sec, I have to shoot somebody in the face.
Yeah.
And then she was at the end. She was like, I didn't like those people anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And when am I gonna see? When are we gonna go on a date or whatever? I was
Right.
all right, that's hilarious. Um, I don't know. It was some of the fighting was okay. Some of it was stupid. Um, uh, when Lou was doing her karate stuff, I was like, this is not. It's not working for me. And when the other lady was fighting too, like she's fighting like 3 or 4 guys and
Mm-hmm.
beating them all up. I'm like, this is
Not realistic. Right.
not realistic. Like not even in the slightest. I liked the fight scene with the weird guy.
Okay.
Remember the weird guy and
Yeah,
the
I
weird
know
lady?
which weird guy you're
Yeah.
talking about.
I liked his final fight scene. Um, when he starts like beating the crap out of him with a pool cue and stuff.
Okay.
That was it. That was good, but most of the other stuff was just I don't know, kind of lame. There wasn't any like John Wick stuff where somebody's like going around just annihilating people with
Just
guns.
headshotting everyone.
Yeah, like they didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Gun fu? There
Yep.
was no gun fu.
Yeah.
But
But as far as the score, I wanted to like this show, and like watching episode 1, I thought it had some promise, but episode 2 and 3, I was disappointed. So I don't know. I guess I'm gonna put this somewhere in the middle of what I gave the other 2 episodes and call it a 6. I
You're
do
gonna
think it
go
was.
up with your score?
I think it was better than the second episode. I really didn't like the second one at all. So, I think to be fair, it needs to be higher than that one.
Okay, if you say so. I So first off, I didn't need to know how Winston became in charge of the Continental. Like I didn't need this storyline.
Okay.
Um, too many plot holes, too many loose ends, too many things that they didn't explain, like how people knew things or just yeah, it's just too many dumb things. So I'm gonna go down again. I'm gonna go 3.2.
All right.
So I guess what is that? That makes my average for the series a 4.8, and your average a 6.1.
All right.
Would not recommend. Like, there's no need to watch this. Nobody needs to watch this.
No, it is just a waste of time. Like the first one had some promise, second one was horrible, and third one is just forgettable. So
Yeah,
overall, it's not worth your time.
and it adds nothing to the John Wick world, from the world of John Wick, but it adds no value to the world. Like, at the very least, they could have, made some allusion to John Wick, because if John Wick is in his 40s or 50s, he would have been alive at the time of the takeover, so there could have been some kind of allusion to him, which would have at least been some kind of, you know, wink and a nod to the audience.
Okay.
I wouldn't have made the movie, wouldn't have made it any better, but it would have been, a nice
Just a
Easter
fun
egg.
little thing for the audience, yeah.
Yeah. So, man, I can't believe um
You can't believe what?
the scores for this show.
All right.
Well, let's see. I'm gonna check Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, it's got a 79 audience score and a 63 what you call it? Critic score.
All right.
I guess that's kind of in line with yours, but the audience score 79? Doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway,
Neither
if
do
you
I.
didn't like
But
the show either and you're watching it, go ahead and give us a thumbs up.
or leave a comment down below on why
Yeah.
this show was not as good as you were hoping.
Or if we're completely off base, I need to know like why other people like this, because I can't figure it out. I'm not finding a lot of redeeming qualities. I was trying to be gracious. I'm watching this. I'm like, come on, please be good, please be good. It wasn't. So I got nothing. No redeeming for this. Don't watch it. If you have, I'm sorry. I feel your pain.
Yeah, also make sure to subscribe if you want to see more when we put out new videos. And where can people find us?
Subscribe so you know when we go live.
That's what I just said.
No, you said put out more videos. Different. It's different. It's different. You gotta watch it live. Gotta do it live. No. So you can follow us on Rumble or Twitter or YouTube. And Twitter's gonna be at VRH Reviews. We're posting videos or going live a couple times a week, usually Monday and Thursdays. Holidays might make that difficult, so we're just gonna wing it. If you have any recommendations, please drop a comment, because yeah, I don't know. Oh, Invincible 2, we're gonna start talking about that one pretty soon, so look out for that. Movies, I think there's supposed to be a bunch of theater releases coming out that look pretty good, so hopefully this Christmas season doesn't suck for movies. We'll find out together, though, won't we?
We will, yes.
All right. Anything else before we head out of here?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right. What was that? See you guys later.